flooding the zone with 1 and 2 year old Altimas that are, just off from Enterprise or whatever, just torpedoes the resale value of the car that, you bought probably on a 6 to 7 year note.
Welcome back to car-pinionated, our weekly show on cars, the car industry, and driving in general. I'm Doug Stewart, digital executive producer for Fox 61 in Hartford. And with me is writer and editor from WBBM in Chicago, Jeff Buchholz. Welcome, Jeff.
Yay! It's
Um,
probably not good manners to cheer myself, but yay. I'm so glad to be back. It's been a while since I've been in the box here. So it's nice to be here talking cars and whatever else comes to mind.
Glenn had a little bit of an emergency, so he had to duck out. But we miss him, and we will talk to him again soon. So, Jeff, we wanted to talk about the Altima. And I have to admit that I was sort of late to the game of uh, understanding the thing around Altimas. Um,
Yeah.
but once I heard about it, I completely understood it. So anyway, so the brief history of it, the Altima's roots go back to the Datsun 710 in the late 1970s. It evolved and they changed the name, they changed the company's name, and which I think there's still a lot of backlash about this weird, like why did you okay, whatever. It's a long time ago at this point. Um, so different cars came about in that sort of middle class, and then the Altima's immediate predecessor was the Stanza, a car I describe as perfectly fine yet entirely forgettable.
Yes. It is one of the cars of all time. You are
Right, right.
exactly right.
Remember when banks used to have pictures of cars in their ads and they were like nondescript?
Yes, that one.
It's
Mhm.
Um, so the first models in 1992 were actually called, you probably remember this, the Stanza
The
Altima,
Stanza Altima, yes.
right? Um, which I think had something to do with the insurance rates for Altima were probably for Stanzas were probably really, really low. And if they're introducing a new car, then they can kind of ease in the rates. I that's a wild guess on my part, but
There was a regulatory reason for it, and I don't remember exactly what it was. But yes, indeed, the first generation of Altima, which had the same design language as the Infiniti J30,
right.
was called the technically the Stanza Altima. And in fact, on some of those early ones, you can see there's a little decal to the left of the on the trunk lid down by the bumper that says Stanza on it. And it's one of those blinker you miss it kind of
Right,
deals.
right.
Yeah.
So they've been selling them since 1992. They sold in 2014 335,000 of these, and a significant percentage of them are go-to rentals. Um, 2024, which is the last year I saw figures for, was 114,000, which kind of combines with the decline in sedans, I think too.
Yeah.
So, so what are you thinking about the Altima, Jeff?
Well, I as someone who drives a lot in a large urban area, I have been onto the Nissan Altima Mystique for some time, and there is a reason stereotypes exist. Honestly, every third Altima I see on the road is, missing some non-zero number of wheel covers, probably has really bad purple tinted windows, might have those stick-on eyelash things that one sees from time to time. It's no offense to the good people of Nissan, but the Altima is kind of like the Honda Accord for your cousin who has a credit score of 580. And this gets to what created the mystique of the Nissan Altima and the reason why the biggest hit for the rap star Doechii is titled Nissan Altima.
Hmm.
Um, More on that in a sec.
Okay.
During the reign of former Nissan CEO slash double bass enthusiast Carlos Ghosn, um, they pretty much were giving dealers free rein to throw money on the hood to
Yeah.
get cars out the door to inflate sales at Nissan dealers to disguise the fact that they didn't really have a lot of new product. And they certainly weren't spending money on research and development. So slap a new coat of paint on everything for the new model year, change some fabrics around, and just, you know, up the rebates a little bit. And that's fine. And also, you know, Nissan's credit acceptance arm was more willing to loan money to people with, you know, sketchier credit. And so that's kind of what happened. That's what in a lot of cases, propelled Altima sales, certainly in the 2010s. And one of the reasons why that car has the mystique that it now has, which is a shame because the Altima, when was that redesign? Like 2002, 03? Like when it got bigger and kind of sleeker and had the like
And
clear taillights?
right. I think it's around that time,
That was
maybe a little bit
those
later.
cars.
Yeah.
Those cars were good. And that was, remember, that was during a period of time where Nissan also had that sort of weird Quest minivan that looked like, you know, like a lunar orbiter or something.
Yeah.
And you know, like they were really, you know, when the 370Z had come out, like they were really going there. And the Altima was a solid car. I remember it doing well in a lot of the sort of car magazine comparison tests of the time. Like it wasn't quite an Accord or a Camry, but it was pretty close and it was very competitive on price. You can really only do that so long, unfortunately. And the sort of decline in fortunes of Nissan generally hasn't helped, nor has the shift to crossover SUVs. My guess, and I haven't had an opportunity to look this up, my guess is the top selling Nissan car in the US is probably the Rogue now.
Probably. Yeah.
That seems to be where a lot of those people are winding up. And yeah, Ultimas are really frequently sold to rental fleets. And part of the issue here is that the Altima was getting squeezed out by its own company. I don't know the last time you saw a new Sentra. Every time I see a new Sentra on the road, I swear it's an Altima. They are so close. It
Yeah.
seems like they are so close in size. They are extremely close in design. That design language actually translates really well to the Sentra, and also the Versa doesn't look bad either. Um,
Right.
but they're pretty handsome cars, and the Altima, there kind of isn't a reason to have the Altima if you have a Sentra that's 90% of that car, and then you have the Rogue covering off that sort of end of the crossover SUV market. And, you know, a car that is actually surprisingly competitive, I think, is the Nissan Kicks, which is a silly name, but it's actually a pretty cool car.
Hmm.
Um, and I just, the, the, at this point, Nissan needs cars that can sell. And, you know, unless your name is Avis, um, you know, they're not able to sell any Altimas as much as they would like.
Right.
So
And
again,
go ahead.
no, once again, another company seeds the mid-level sedan, the mid-sized sedan market to Honda, Toyota, and the Koreans, I guess.
Right. And also the other part of it, so the selling to the car rental companies is is like it's only delaying something bad coming down the road because
Correct.
you're going to sell that car, and then they're going to turn around and sell it in 6, 8, 12 months. And then so that's competing in the marketplace against your new car. Um, and also then uh, you know, secondarily, it's going to work into that credit score market of right,
And also the resale value equation.
right,
That,
right.
flooding the zone with 1 and 2 year old Altimas that are, just off from Enterprise or whatever, just torpedoes the resale value of the car that, you bought probably on a 6 to 7 year note,
Mhm.
and you're thoroughly backwards on it and will be for the foreseeable future. Not that a new car is ever a particularly good investment anyway, but it's particularly bad for a Nissan Altima. Ford went through the same thing with the Taurus back in the late 90s and early aughts when that redesign went so
Yeah,
really horribly badly, and they just offloaded a bunch of cars to Hertz so that they could, stay in the running for like best, most popular car in America. But they learned that there are other costs there, and they're just sort of kicking stuff down the road, unfortunately.
we're going to go to a break and we'll come back. All right, we're back. The one of the things in there's an Autopian article that the insurance rates are really high. Also, doubled the average rate of personal injury and medical payment claims for mid-sized sedans between 2020 and 22. Crash rate claims 45% above the average too. The full coverage on a Nissan Altima costs $228 a month before discounts. That's $3 higher than the monthly rate for Cadillac Lyriq. And
Yeah, man.
I don't think there's a lot of cross shopping between the Lyriq
Very
and
little.
yeah.
Very little. Yeah. Yeah, it's again, I mean, this is all sort of what happens when you're trying to prop up a company when you're not investing in it. Is you'll just, sell it to anybody. It's I am reminded of The Big Short. You remember that movie from some years ago that dramatized, not as much as probably we would have hoped, the housing collapse of the late aughts. And, all of a sudden everybody's buying houses. It's like, if, everybody's buying Altimas, all of a sudden none of them are worth anything. So, you know,
Right.
what does it matter?
Yeah.
So, yeah, but my favorite piece of Ultima lore, of course, deals with Dochi, and she wrote her song called Nissan Altima, which, by the way, very NSFW, and also doesn't have any name checks of Altimas in the lyrics, so kids don't
So
listen
so
to
I
it.
don't have to go worrying about finding
No,
lyrics that'll
no, you don't. She wrote it. She wrote it as she was driving around LA in her Nissan Altima before she hit it big. The video is basically her singing while standing on top of an Altima that's on a rollaway, or a rollback rather. And when she announced her tour, when she was at Lollapalooza in Chicago this summer, the she finished the show, and she and her dancers, dance off the stage. The camera's backpedaling, following them. They get into a Nissan Altima wrapped with Dochi Tour 2025 and drive off. I wish they'd hit somebody because that would have completed the image. But it was just it's hilarious. It's
yeah.
hilarious. It's
Side
hilarious, and she's amazing. And that concert was legitimately one of the best concerts I've ever seen in my life. But yeah,
I, she sideswipes Kendrick Lamar's Grand
oh
National.
God, heartbreaking, heartbreaking.
That did
Oh
not happen. I'm just making it up in my
yeah,
head.
yeah, yeah. No, yeah.
Yeah.
Kendrick was long gone by
Yeah.
then. There was, Kendrick did have a GNX model on stage.
Right.
It
Right.
was the
But wasn't
same.
it
It was
just
the
a
same.
shell?
Yes, it was the same deal that he had in the Super Bowl show, but
Okay.
that was the same. It was the same kind of vibe.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. That's a subject for another episode, the Grand
Well,
National.
I think, didn't we talk about it?
I
Haven't we
don't
talked about it
know.
on this
I don't
podcast?
know. We might have mentioned it briefly, but
Briefly, because I feel like I talked about it on the podcast, but
you and I have talked about it on
yeah,
several occasions.
that's
Yeah.
probably true. Yeah.
We're going to go to a break and we'll come back. All right, we're back. Um,
Uh,
so
yeah,
the other thing about it is, the thing that I've seen, the meme, the Sentra is the Smalltima, the pickup truck is the Talltima, the bigger truck is the Crawltima, the
yeah.
HVAC Installtima, which is the white cargo van, the Becky we're going to the Maltima pink SUV, and the Recaltima, which is a Nissan with a deployed airbag, which
Yeah.
I think that whole thing is brilliant. I wish I give credit to the person who
Oh.
came up with that, but that
Is
cracked.
the wait, the we're going to the Multima is not the Murano Cross Cabriolet? I'm so confused.
Friend of the show, Dawn, would love one of those.
I The Autopian has one.
That's
I
right.
don't,
They took it to
honest,
Monterey, and it
they
was
did.
like,
I love every part of that. That was
yeah,
so good.
yeah,
I love that. And I just, can I just say, and I know you're a fan of old school Nissan, having owned at least one that I can think
yep,
of, a Pathfinder, right?
right, yep,
And I also had a Pathfinder. Um, as a fan of old school Nissan, they just need a hit, man. I
yeah,
feel I
yeah,
feel so bad for them. The cars were so good back in the day. They were so interesting. And even if the cars that were advertised in these ads weren't all that interesting, the Mr. K campaign was fun and whimsical. And I just want them to find something other than, you know, rental car specials and the voice of Robert Downey Jr. in their commercials. Like I just want them to have a good car. I want them to have
yeah.
a good, solid, even if it's a crossover SUV. The head of Nissan USA is making noises about an Xterra. That would be fantastic. That would be the hit.
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
what they need.
absolutely. Absolutely. And because I was following, I think it was the second gen Xterra the other day. Just
Mhm.
what a great,
It was good. It
right.
was so good.
And 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 what 10, 15 years out, there's still people who want that car, who feel strongly about that car.
Yeah.
Um, including our good friend Dan from Columbus is a fan.
Yes.
Again,
Yeah.
both generations, if I remember
Yeah.
correctly.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Those
yeah,
were great.
and my understanding is that the CVT transmission is better now. They've made it better because they couldn't make it worse, probably.
Oh no.
um, but yeah, and I don't know. It just doesn't. It's sad. It really is sad.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
uh,
There will be, if there haven't already been, there will be books written about the lasting damage Carlos Ghosn did to Nissan
and
and
yeah,
pretty much everything he touched.
yeah, yeah,
And yeah, Nissan, Renault, Mitsubishi, exactly. And I mean, they're still trying to climb out of that hole. I mean, to the point where, Nissan couldn't even get its crap together enough to go into a partnership with Honda.
right. Yeah, yeah. What that amazes me. And I mean, I guess the egos involved in that are like, well, we don't want to be number two. We need to be number one. Like, man, you're not close to number one. You,
Yeah, yeah.
you're not.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but according to automotive news, the Altima and the Versa are expected to be discontinued after the 2025 model year. So
Hmm. Well, that's the Versa's kind of too bad. Although I think Nissan is envisioning the Kicks as being its entry level
Yeah.
vehicle in the way that Chevrolet has made the Trax its entry level vehicle, and to great acclaim,
Mhm.
by the way.
And there's the one of the many new car dealerships right around here has a line of Kicks all the way down.
Yeah.
I will take a picture of it and add
Yeah,
it.
they're actually not. I checked one out at the auto show back in the wintertime. They're actually pretty nice.
Mhm. Yeah, they go into that category of um it's quirky but not, for me it's quirky but not weird.
It's not a juke.
It's not a juke, right? Right. And you know what I've noticed, and I don't know if you've noticed this too, that there's a lot of that are bought for like delivery or corporate, small companies
Interesting.
like cleaners and medical supply, medical testing, pickup. There must be one company around here that has like four of them because I continually see.
Interesting.
Um, and perfectly adequate vehicle
Sure.
to do the job.
Yep.
Um, yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Any other notes that I had in here that I wanted to? I can't see anything. Um, Anything else that you wanted to add about the Altima?
Uh I have to applaud the Altima for continuing the Altezza taillight fad long after the original Altezza gave up on. Like that's commitment to the bit.
There you go. There you go. I just remembered that I did a lot of damage to one that I had as a rental coming back from the 1995 convention in Miami. The 19
Oh, sure, sure.
which I believe is where we first met.
I think you're right.
Yeah. In any case, Nissan, we hope you get better. We,
Yes.
we want to see everyone succeed.
Yes.
But you got a road to go.
Yeah, for sure.
So, all right. So we're going to do some housekeeping here. The fine folks at WVEC 13 News Now and Hampton Roads are carrying car-pinionated.
Let's go.
Yes. Um, Home market for my brother Jeff, his lovely wife Sue, and their daughter Allison. Um, and as they joined WGRZ in Buffalo and Fox 43 in Harrisburg. So
That's fantastic. That is fantastic.
so we want to remind you to find us on YouTube. Old episodes are there. And you can like and subscribe, and we will see you next time.